Hi, and welcome back to another AnyRPG Development Livestream. In these videos, I livestream the development of the AnyRPG Engine, a free and open source role-playing game engine designed in Unity and written in C#. If you don't already have a copy of AnyRPG, you can pick one up from anyrpg.org/downloads in both Unity package and source code format. You can also find free copies of the games that I work on in these episodes at the same page. In this episode, we'll be starting a brand new cutscene using some new assets from the Unity Asset Store that are free assets, and we'll also be doing our first integration of the Unity timeline. One of my viewers actually pointed out to me that it does exist in the last episode. I actually wasn't aware of it, and there are some simple ways that we can integrate it into our game to have just a better overall centralized view of what's happening in our cutscenes. So the free assets that we'll be using are, for the cutscene environment, we'll be using the courtyard, which is an absolutely amazing free asset put out by Unity Technologies themselves. And also by Unity Technologies, we'll be using the 3D Game Kit character pack, which has these really cool giant robots in here. So we'll be having them in the cutscene as well. They'll be guardians of the Mana Seal. So I've already in Unity imported these packages, and I'm just going to show what I've done already basically to the asset. So if we go to environments here, and I actually have it imported as the ancient archive, and it has a scene here. I'll just open up the scene, go to the scene view, and let's just hit F on anything here pretty much. Okay, there we go. So in the scene view here, you can see we've got our courtyard, and it has a bunch of not very ancient looking stuff, like all these lights and stuff in here. So what I've done is I basically made a copy of this thing, and then just like removed all the technology stuff from it pretty much. In the center, this water actually isn't pink by default. It's regular color by default, but like sort of blue. But all I did is I just went into the water-based script on this asset and then turned it pink. So let's just load up the cutscene that I've created. And this is the Mana Seal cutscene now, and I've basically just removed all of the technological objects from this. So then the next thing that we want to do is import our robots. So I've downloaded those, and we can find them in the characters under mechanical, and I've imported them here into the ancient animated guardian. The grenadier has this model right here, and basically this is what he looks like. And so I've created this ancient animated guardian model just by dragging that into the scene and then back out and making its own original prefab. So I'll just go through that process again because I don't need that guy, and we're going to name him something a little bit different here. So I'll just drag one of these grenadiers into the scene, and then I will drag it out into the prefab folder, click on original prefab, and name him Luna Mech. I'm going to open up the prefab here, and we have this grenadier model. Now I want to make two different types of Luna Mechs. I want to make a Luna Mech with a blue uncharged ball and then a bright yellow solar ball. So what I'm going to do is make a copy of this. I'll have two of them basically. So one will be called LunaMech and one will be called Charged LunaMech. I'm going to open the Charged LunaMech prefab, click on the Grenadier, and then there's this material right here that we're using. So let's go select material, and you can see it's the Grenadier core material. I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate that, and I'm going to call that the Grenadier core material yellow and just prefix it with AnyRPG so that I know that's something that I've made. Then I'm going to switch these colors out to yellow. So swap that one out to yellow, swap this one out to yellow as well, and now we have yellow material. If we go back into our charged LunaMech here, and we just have to swap out the Grenadier core mat for the AnyRPG Grenadier core mat yellow. Now if we look at him, he's got a bright yellow orb in the center of him there. And that's what I want, because I basically want him to be charged up with the sun. Now we should do the same thing for his eye here. So he's got the Grenadier eye mat, and if we select that material right there, then we can just hit Control D to duplicate. And I'm going to call this the AnyRPG Grenadier eye mat yellow. I'm going to switch this HDR emission over here to yellow, and then I'm going to go onto the charged LunaMech, and where we have the Grenadier eye mat, I will use the AnyRPG Grenadier eye mat yellow. There, and now he looks like a charged up LunaMech that has been charged with the power of the sun so that he can keep the mana seal active at nighttime. So now that I have my two models, I'll want to create units for them. So to do that, we'll just go to where our units are, and that'll be under Prefabs Character AI. So I can just copy any old unit. I'll just hit Control D and copy the Avatar of Death unit here. And we will call this the LunaMech unit. I'll open up the prefab, remove the Avatar of Death model, and grab my LunaMech and actually what I need to do is rename that to model. And for charged LunaMech, I want to rename that to charged LunaMech model as well. So we have the unit and the model, and those are totally separate, and you can just pretty much drag any model on any unit. So that looks about right. This guy's about 4 meters tall. That's about the right size for this robot here. So then I'm going to go down, and he doesn't have a toughness. He's not actually going to have to be in combat with anything. He doesn't have a combat strategy. His character name is going to be LunaMech. His faction is Sunsworn. And he doesn't really need a class, but I'm sure we'll give him Channeler anyway. For the unit profile, honestly, I don't even think I need one for now. I may end up creating one, but for now we don't need one. He doesn't really need a unit frame, but let's just see if he actually does have some sort of head. Not really. If we look at his model here, I wonder if I can click on like any subunits of him. Not really. So he's got hips, legs, sphere. Okay, there we go. Eye armor. Let's hit F to focus focus on eye armor. And you know what? That's about right, actually. That's about the closest thing to a head that I think we could focus on. And eye armor end, actually. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want to be looking at if we're looking at him in a unit frame. So we'll add that as the unit frame target instead of Bippo1 head. And I'll set it a little bit further back, and actually let's just make sure that's Z forward. Yeah, it's Z forward, good. So 0.66 is good for a human. I'm going to set that back to actually 1 on the Z, so we're a little farther away from him so we can see more of him there. And finally I need to create an animation profile for him, so I'm just going to click on any old animation profile, then I'll create a new AnyRPG animation profile, and we'll call it LunaMech. The resource name will be LunaMech, and then we need to put some animations in here. So this LunaMech came with some animations. They're under animation clips under the Grenadier folder when we imported them here. We've got a death animation, so we can pull that down into death clip. We have an idle animation, so I will pull that one into both combat idle and regular idle. We have a hit animation, lots of them actually. So I'm going to pull all 4 of them down into the take damage spot. We don't need to worry about melee attacks or range attacks or turns. The only other things we need are the walk and walk fast. So Grenadier walk will go into move forward. Grenadier walk fast will go into move forward fast. Same thing for the combat versions of these basically. So combat move forward will be Grenadier walk. Combat move forward fast is Grenadier walk fast. Now that we have an animation profile for him, we can unlock the inspector, go back to his unit here, and choose the LunaMech animation profile. I think that's actually all that we need to do for now, because for now I just want him to basically stand there and he will eventually patrol. So I suppose I do need to give him behavior interactable to make him begin his patrol. So we'll put a behavior interactable on him, and then he also doesn't have an AI patrol on him as well. So in order for him to be able to patrol, we'll have to add an AI patrol. I'll create the patrol for him a little bit later, but that's pretty much all we need for now. On the LunaMech model, I'll be adding a component, and that's the character animation event receiver, which will disable root motion because the script handles root motion through the animation profiles. We'll apply that to the character model, and pretty much everything else looks good. So now that I have my LunaMech unit, I'm going to duplicate that and make a charged LunaMech unit. So Control D to duplicate. And now we have charged LunaMech unit. I'll open up the prefab. I'll take away the LunaMech model here, and we'll find the charged LunaMech model. We'll pull that on top of him and add a character animation event receiver, apply that to the charged LunaMech model. Actually, I should pull down the character unit. I think it'll automatically find that by default by looking in its parent, but it's fine to just have it there. And now we have the charged LunaMech units. So I'll just want to change the name up here. So we'll call this charged Lunamech, and everything else is exactly the same. These guys will be basically in these rooms here getting charged by like this laser light that'll be heading up and down in here. So they will basically walk down the stairs and head into the center, and then eventually charge up the shield that will be shown in the center there. So to do that, we will basically position them so that they have a path down there. I've already added a nav mesh to this, so just looking at the navigation map, there is a path down the stairs, and they should be able to basically get to the bottom there, hopefully. It's kind of an interesting path, but it sort of looks like it all connects. If not, I can just like reduce the walk radius or something. Okay, good enough. So basically, we'll want to place one Lunamech right here. So I will take both of them actually need to be there. So we'll put a Lunamech unit right there. Wow. Okay, this guy's capsule collider is fine, so he should be able to walk under there. He's kind of huge though. And we'll put another Lunamech unit over here. We'll put a charged Lunamech unit right on top of him, and a charged Lunamech unit right on top of him. Then we want to do that for all the different towers. So we'll go into this tower over here. Add a Lunamech unit, charged Lunamech unit, another Lunamech unit, and another charged Lunamech unit. Then over at the final tower over here, we'll add some more of these guys as well. So one Lunamech unit here, another Lunamech over here, a charged Lunamech here, and a charged Lunamech here. Okay, that's all the Lunamechs that we need. So I'm going to create a new empty, reset the transform on it, pull all of the Lunamechs into there, and then rename this Lunamechs. In the cutscene, I have created a timeline already. So if we go up to the cutscene, let's take a look at it. In the Mana Seal cutscene, there's a Mana Seal cutscene timeline. To create one of those, you can just go create and timeline. I've added that the playable director component and linked it to the timeline and set it to play on awake. So now when I click on the timeline controller, I see the timeline for my game there. Let's pull the game window out over here. And what I've done is gone add animation track, and then taken the camera right here and pulled it down onto that animation track, which gave it an animator component automatically. So to see the animation that I've created here, let's just play it. Or not. There we go. Okay. So I have to fix the lighting on the sand here, but basically you're sort of zooming over the sand, and then you come up around here, zoom down, and you end up doing a circle around this thing here. You can't see it right now, but there's actually a solar shield around this. After you've done a complete loop there, I want to zoom up and take a look at the mechs, and then I want to have the mechs basically spawn and despawn. So to do that, we'll drag the cutscene out to where it ends here. The other thing that I did is I added a signal emitter, and this signal emitter is emitting a signal called animation complete. And that is basically sending a message to the camera. Now, what I'm going to do is just delete that signal emitter here, and right click on here. No, maybe right click right there. No. Sorry, there. Oops, sorry about that. Didn't hit the mute button fast enough. Okay, so then what we want to do is click F to focus on the camera, go back to the timeline controller, and then get to the camera to the point where that thing is. To do that, I have to go click on that and go into recording mode. Now when I go into the cutscene and click F on the camera, there we go. Now I'll be where the camera is. Okay, so now I want to do game object, align view with selected, and now these two scenes match. Perfect, so now I can continue working on the cutscene and adding frames. So what we want to do is we want to go up and take a look at those Lunamechs, and then we want to make them basically have the one Lunamech disappear and the other Lunamech appear. So right about here is where I want the camera to be, so I'll move the timeline forward and then go game object, align with view because I've got the camera there, and now we've created a keyframe looking at the Lunamechs. So now what I want to do is move this whoops, wrong window, it's the game window. I want to move the camera forward a little more, and bring it around so that we can watch them disappear and reappear. So I will pull out the scene a little further and go game object, align with view. So let's just pull that back in the game view and watch. So we basically get around here, our camera zooms up, goes into the middle, turns around, and takes a look at the Lunamechs. Perfect. So then I'm just going to pull this signal like way out here because we don't want the cutscene to end quite yet. Let's turn off recording mode now that we've got the camera pulled out, and we'll just leave the camera focused on these guys for now, because now what I want to do is make all of the Lunamechs disappear. So to do that, I think I'm going to create a new track group. I'm going to call it Lunamechs. And actually, you know what? I think I can do this even smarter. I think I can take advantage of just signal tracks here. So I'll create a new signal and I will call it despawn Lunamech. And that's going to be a custom signal, so I might as well create it in the Lost Soul shared prefabs folder, for lack of a better place. I'll create a folder called signals. We can go into there and create a new signal. This signal is called despawn Lunamech, and then we'll just drag it. No, apparently not. Okay. Oh. No. Let's just pull one of the LunaMech units in here. Yeah, create signal receiver on LunaMech unit. Okay, so I'm gonna added component, apply that to the prefab LunaMech unit because these guys actually all do need signal receivers anyway. Then I'm gonna add a reaction. I'm gonna allow off despawn LunaMech, and I will look for, let's see, I think character unit has a despawn method on it. Let me just check that. Something has a despawn method on it. AI character. Okay. And this is basically try to despawn. Actually, character unit does have a despawn method. I think maybe I just wasn't seeing it on there. Character unit. Let's go to the definition of that. Ah, that's the problem. Yeah, okay. It's got a bunch of parameters. So, in fact, what we will do is we will go off the AI character. I think these signals are only capable of going to things that don't have parameters, basically. So, AI character and try to despawn, which should basically cause him to immediately despawn. Modified component, we're just going to apply that to the LunaMech unit. So there's another way that we can deal with activation and deactivation as well. Let's go back to our timeline controller here, and let's see. I think we can just add a signal emitter right here, and this one will be emitting the despawn LunaMech signal. Now, for some reason, this guy really wants to only be on LunaMech 5. Let's go look at LunaMech 4. Okay, so I'm going to try it, see if it works, because this guy has the same signal receiver script on him, and it's basically attached to the same method. So let's actually move the LunaMech units, or actually, first I'm going to go back to the timeline, and we actually want to make sure that the other LunaMechs don't activate until this point. So let's create a new signal called spawn charged LunaMech unit. So I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate the despawn, and I'm going to call this one spawn charged LunaMech. actually, you know what? I may not even need that. Let's try a different one. Let's go activation track here. And I'm going to try this a different way. We'll go charge LunaMech unit and just pull him onto here. And I'll pull this one up under the LunaMech's group because I think I want to add one activation track per LunaMech unit. So I'll put the charge LunaMech unit into here, pull this up into the group, add 4 more of those, and pull the rest of the charged LunaMech units onto them. Let's just collapse that to make it a little bit neater. And I can't seem to scroll that, so we'll pull this up here, and then we've got a group of LunaMechs. So what I want to do, I don't know, can I select all these guys? I can, perfect. So basically at this point right here, I don't even really need that signal emitter there. I'll just delete that one. No, actually that's the despawn LunaMech, so that's fine. So for these guys, what I want to do is let's just drag them all over to here, and then we'll just keep them active right up until the end of the frame. Okay, so when I come in here, basically you can see it's activating them in the cutscene. It's not despawning the other ones, and that's because basically I sent a signal to despawn them. So we're using 2 different methods here, just kind of for fun and for testing, because honestly this is my first time using the timeline. So basically, you know, that's 2 different ways we can control their behavior. Then we'll see these guys down here. So now what I want to do is I want to make the guys do a patrol. So let's go ahead and do that. I want them to patrol down to the center here. Right here. And then basically start shooting lasers at the top of this little pyramid here. So what I'll do is middle click on the ground right here. I don't think I put a location finder in here yet, so I will just create a new 3D object cube, call it location finder, remove the box collider and mesh renderer, and now that exists basically just to give me coordinates, pretty much. So I'm going to create a new patrol to get the LunaMechs, or I mean the charged LunaMechs, to basically walk down here so that they can start shooting lasers. So let's do that. We'll go into the Lost Soul content under Resources, and we have Patrol Profiles. So I'll create a new AnyRPG Patrol Profile, and I'll call this one Charged LunaMech. Eventually we'll have separate ones for each LunaMech, but for now I just want to see if this is going to work at all. So we've got Charged LunaMech here, and I'm going to add one destination. I'll lock the inspector. I will go over into this tab. I'll add a tab, Inspector, and I will click on the location finder in my scene, and then just copy these values in right here. my Luna mech should basically start patrolling to this location. We're not going to loop destinations. He's not going to despawn on complete. He's basically just going to stand there. And we don't really need max destinations. We don't need max distance or any pause time. We don't need to set movement speed. And we don't need to bother saving position at destination because this is a cutscene and we're not going to come back here and we don't expect Lunamechs to be standing there. So that's pretty much it. So now all we need to do is just go to our charged Lunamech and actually give him a way to start that patrol. So we'll go to the charged Lunamech unit here, unlock the inspector, close this inspector tab over here, open up our prefab, and we'll go down to our behavior interactable. We'll give one behavior name, and that behavior name, actually we'll create one, we still have to do that, is charged Lunamech. So under the lost soul resources we have shared resources here, and I'll go into behavior profiles here, create an AnyRPG behavior profile, call this charged Lunamech, set the title to charged Lunamech. We'll give it one behavior node, 0 prerequisite conditions. This is an automatic behavior, meaning it automatically plays if it has no prerequisites. At a start time of 1, it will give one behavior action node, and it will basically send a message with a parameter. So this is how you can pretty much bypass the fact that Unity's signals don't have parameters, is you can just use those signals to like trigger behaviors, and then those behaviors can send parameters to all the other objects. So in this case, it's going to be begin patrol, charged Lunamech. And this begin patrol call will be heard by the AI patrol that we put on this thing earlier. So let's go back to the charged Lunamech model and just make sure we have the behavior charged Lunamech, which will then call the patrol charged Lunamech. And if we look at the AI patrol class here, we can see that we can send begin patrol to it, so it will accept that message. So now theoretically we have everything that we need, and let's just give that a try and see if it works. So I'm going to save this, and let's actually let's take the camera, actually go back to the timeline controller here, and maybe extend the scene a little more. So let's click on the camera, go into record mode, click on the camera here, go game object, align view to selected so I can see where I am here. And what we want to do then is sort of follow these guys down the stairs a little bit. So we'll go down to here. And I'll move that out to about here. And then we can go game object, align with view, and we've got a new keyframe with that here. Once they get down there, I want to sort of follow them down the stairs a little bit more. So, like at the bottom of the stairs right about here. Let's move the end cutscene like way out there. And then go game object. Oops, I gotta grab the camera again. And here we'll go game object, align with view. So let's just see what that's doing. Okay, so we go down, we take a pause, we head down the stairs, perfect, okay. And then we want to move this thing a little bit forward, so we'll move up to about there. camera up sort of into this room here. Right about there looks good, and we should have a pretty good view of the room from there. So then I will go game object, align with view, and I get another keyframe right there. We'll want to make sure that these Lunamechs stay active. And the multiple clip timing says they all end at 50 seconds. Let's just change that to like 70. Nope. That changed the start on them. I wonder if we can do that. Nope. That changed the start as well. Okay, I guess not. I wonder if I hold down shift while I'm... no, that's still only grabbing one of them. Okay, maybe there isn't a way to update them all at the same time. Okay, so now those guys should be active until the end of the scene. So let's save that, and I think this will work. So we'll go back to the load game manager. I'll save everything, press play. We'll load up our tester who's over in the Sun Temple. I've already gone ahead and created a book that will load this cutscene for us, and I've added it to the build settings. If you want to know how to create books that will launch cutscenes, then you can find those in the History of Magic cutscene episodes, as well as the War of the Magi cutscene episodes. So the book that's going to load the Mana Seal cutscene is up here. So we'll click on it. It loads the cutscene. I still have to fix the lighting. We're zooming over gray unlit sand right now. We come up there. A remote location was chosen in the desert. A large well called the Mana Seal was built to contain the collected mana, and now you can see the little sun shield bubble is over top of it. We're going to come down in here, go in the door. So I'll have to add some more verbiage in the cutscene here about how the Lunamechs are getting charged during the day. But let's just zoom up here. We can see the Lunamech. We turn around, and we have our charged Lunamechs, but our other Lunamechs doesn't look like they despawned. And I don't think they're doing the patrol. And this is likely because of the nav mesh situation, where we have that nav mesh that's really weird and skinny in some places. So let's go to our charged Lunamech unit. I'm gonna hit F to focus on one of them, and he basically hasn't moved one bit here. So if I scroll down and look down here, we can see he does have that one behavior name. And if we look at so for some reason I'm not finding his behavior profile. profile here. I don't know if that has anything to do with the fact that it had spaces in it, but that really shouldn't matter anyway. We would have got a warning in the console because it actually uses these right here. So he has his behavior node, and he should begin the patrol charged Lunamech. So since that didn't happen, I'm going to assume that it's probably the nav mesh. Let's just jump out of there for a second and go back into the scene. So we're looking for the Mana Seal cutscene. And I actually want to take a look while I'm remembering here. This stuff right here. So this desert over here. It doesn't appear to be lit. Which is kind of interesting. So it can't cast shadows or receive shadows. I think I'll see if I can fix that later. Okay, for now though, let's just take a look at the nav mesh. So if we go to navigation and let's go take a look at the stairs here, because I'm pretty sure this is the issue, is that they can't walk down these stairs properly. It actually kind of does look like they have a complete path. I mean, it's not like a fantastic path, but it does look like they actually do have a complete path. Although right here, that's a little odd. So let's set the max slope up a little bit. And maybe just set the agent radius a little smaller. And let's rebake that and just see if that makes a difference. Okay, so that looks a little tiny bit better. Looks like they might actually have a way down now. Okay, so let's try that cutscene again. We'll just save this. And go back to the load game manager. press play. And then see if our guys actually start patrolling properly. So I'll load the mana seal by clicking on the mana seal cutscene there, or book. We'll do our zoom through the center. And then up to look at our Lunamax. We get our charged Lunamax spawn, but once again, they are not beginning their patrol. So I have to reduce the waviness on this water here, or I mean on this pink mana pool, because it's sort of like floating up above the camera. And it looks like I've got a little bit of work to do on the spawning and despawning. So I think we're going to leave it there for now. I think that's good enough. Basically, you know, we got the Unity timeline integrated, and we can sort of control through that activation component, at least the new spawning, and I'll hopefully get the behavior patrol working for next time. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to see more of that type of content in the future, don't forget to thumbs up the video, subscribe to the Cohesion YouTube channel, or just leave a note in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time, where we continue to improve the cutscene and add the rest of the effects like the sun lasers charging them and such. Okay, take care, and until next time.